We're here on Monday, 12th, August 2030, and this is Season 3, Episode 16. We have the Rumble in 13 days, so let's start it. Okay, we start Thunder off with Andrade cutting a promo backstage, and he says, "Gunther, I'm going to win the Rumble, and when I win it, I'm going to win that World Heavyweight title. And I don't care who tries to stop me. I will win the Rumble. I will win that title. This is my time to shine." Then, up next, we see Brock Lesnar defeat Griff Garrison in 4 minutes and 43 seconds by pinfall with an F5. And then we see Christian Cage backstage, and he's frustrated, shaking his head, and he looks at Batista and he says, "Man, I don't get it, Dave. Randy's been off the rails lately, worse than usual. You've been in the trenches with him. You know what he's about. But this is something else. What is his deal? What's he after?" Batista leans forward. "You don't get it, do you? It's not about gold. It's not about fame. It's not even about proving he's the best with Randy. It's never been that simple." Christian Cage looks at Batista and says, "So what is it? Revenge? Ego? Some twist of vendetta?" Batista stands up and says, "No, with Randy, it's about chaos. He don't care about winning or losing. He doesn't care about the aftermath. He just wants to hurt people. Not for gain, not for glory, just because he can." There is a pause, and Christian's face hardens as he realizes what he's saying. Batista continues, "I've seen it, man, up close. When I ran with him in Evolution, I thought I understood him. I thought he was just another guy hungry for power. But Randy, he's different. He doesn't think like the rest of us. He's not playing a game. He's tearing the board apart." You ever see that look in his eyes when he's about to hit that punt kick? That's not the look of a man trying to make a statement. That's the look of someone who doesn't care if he burns everything to the ground, including himself. Christian Cage, "So what are you saying? He's just pure destruction?" Batista says, "Some men fight for a reason. Some fight because they have to. But Randy, he fights because he wants to. He doesn't need a reason, Christian. He is not trying to prove a point. He just enjoys watching the pain. And when someone like that is unleashed, there's no stopping him. So what do we do?" Batista then continues, "You don't play his game. You don't try and outsmart him or outfight him. You survive. And even then, that may not be enough." And we see that Christian is scared. And our first tag team match of the night, and maybe only, gets a 67, and it's Flawless and Lawless versus Kevin Steen and Sami Zayn. I read the tag team name, and I about say Kevin Owens every time. Randy Orton versus Marshall Von Erich. Marshall Von Erich defeated Randy Orton with a moonsault for a 90. Ace Austin defeated Bobby Lashley, in which Marshall Von Erich was outside at the ring, but out of nowhere, Randy Orton punt kicked Marshall Von Erich. 51. Huh. Okay, we get a promo from Seth Rollins, and he says, "I am the X Division champion. I will defend it coming up on Emergency. And Dolph Ziggler, don't you even think that you'll take my title. It will be a cat fight, a dog fight, or however fight you want to call it. But there's one thing clear. Seth Rollins will be the man walking out victorious." That's the end of the angle. It got a 92. Let's go to the next angle. Okay, Chad Gable is in the ring. And he says, "I've been thinking about this a lot lately. About why I'm still here, why I keep fighting, why I keep stepping into this ring. And honestly, it's not for the reasons it used to be. I used to want to prove something. Prove that the small guy could hang with the big dogs. Prove that my name belonged in the same breath as the legends. And yeah, I did that. I proved I'm one of the best wrestlers in the world. But now it's different. I've lost people. I've lost opportunities. I've lost time. Time I'll never get back. Time I could have spent being a better friend, a better father, a better person outside of that ring. And every loss, every missed chance, it weighs on me. It makes me question if I'm even good enough anymore. But this Sunday at the TNA Rumble, I'm not stepping into that ring to try and prove anything to anyone else. I'm stepping into that ring to remind myself who I am, to remind myself why I fell in love with this, to remind myself that all those sacrifices, all that pain wasn't for nothing. I know the odds are against me. I know I'm not the biggest, I'm not the flashiest, and I'm not the guy anyone's betting on. But you know what? That's okay because I've been the underdog my entire life. I've been the guy they said would never make it, but I've made it this far. I've fought and scratched and clawed for every inch, and this Sunday, I'm going to fight like my life depends on it, because in a way it does. Winning the TNA Rumble isn't just about a title shot. It's about redemption. It's about showing the world and myself that Chad Gable still has something left to give. I know I may not be the guy you expect to win, but for every kid who's ever been told they're too small, for every dreamer who's been told they'll never make it, this one's for you. And it's for me too. Okay, got a 90. And our first match is Mysterio and Pentagon versus the Thrillers. For 57, Rey Mysterio, the fourth pin, Dustin Waller with a frog splash. Ricochet cuts a promo and says, I will win the Rumble, not Chad Gable, not Jay White, not Andrade. I will. And then we see Randy Orton versus Devon Erickson, a handicap match in which Randy Orton pinned Ross Von Erich with an RKO for an 81. And Christian came down and Batista with a chair. And Christian did get Randy Orton with the chair, but after a few moments when they were cutting their promo, Randy Orton was already back up and he took out Christian's knee and started beating the Von Erichs, Batista, and Christian Cage with the chair. It did get a 92, and Marshall Von Erich took a stump bump during this angle. But the main event got an 86 in it, and Ace Austin defeated Bryan Danielson with a House of Cards. Bryan Danielson had an in-ring performance of 81, whereas Ace Austin had his always 90s performance. So, in my opinion, that was a pretty good show. Okay, we see Walter cut a promo to welcome Impact to his show, but the promo is not a welcoming. He grabs the microphone and he says, Chad Gable, Andrade, you both say that you'll win the Rumble and face me. Neither one of you two is man enough to win the Rumble, much less win the X Division title. I don't think that you could win the World Heavyweight Championship even if it was vacated. But you know what? I'll let you live your fairy tale a couple more days. Then we see Ricochet come out and cut a promo and he says, I ain't living no fairy tale. I'm here and I'm going to win that Rumble to face you for that title that you have on your shoulder. Then MJF's theme song hits and he says, well, I'm not going to be in the Rumble, but I will be watching my friends back. Seth Rollins cuts a promo and says, Dolph Ziggler, next Sunday it's going to be me versus you. Now I've already speculated and give everyone a spoiler. It's going to be me walking out with the X Division title again, victorious, and still X Division champion. I don't care who you bring along with you. I will be the X Division champion walking out because I am better than you simply. And if you don't believe me, let's look at some statistics. I've held the WWE World title more than you. I've held the TNA World title more than you. I've even held the Ring of Honor World title more than you, Dolph. I am better than you, and you know it. The Rock cuts a promo and he says that he will put his hat in the Royal Rumble, or the TNA Rumble. And then CM Punk comes out and he cuts a promo and he says, I'm going to put myself in the Rumble just so that I can win it to go face Drew Galloway. Then our first actual match that we do get to see pretty late in the show is Tatum Paxley defeating the fabulous Carmella in 7 minutes and 28 seconds by submission. 70 is not bad. Then our second match is DIY versus Devon Erickson. Devon Erickson defeated DIY when Marshall Von Erich submitted Johnny Gargano with an Iron Claw. Then Kenzie Page defeated Akari by pinfall for 63. And then here is our big match of tonight. Drew Galloway defeated Bryan Danielson for an 82 to make defense number 3 of the TNA World title. And he grabs a microphone and he says, that's a spoiler for next Sunday. I will walk out of TNA Emergency still world champion. Ace Austin versus Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns defeated Ace Austin by submission with a guillotine choke after Marshall Von Erich interfered. '93, the show increased our popularity in 57 regions. That is a great show. In fact, that may be our biggest show yet. I would have to look. Drew Galloway says, this coming Sunday, I will defeat you for the world. I will defeat you to retain the WWE World title. Oh crap. He says that he'll face him to win the TNA World title. Sorry for that major mistake. MJF cut a promo and says that he will be out helping Ace Austin come Sunday. Heather Hesketh and Tatum Paxley are backstage, and Heather Hesketh says, you see this woman right here, and points to Tatum Paxley and says, this woman will win the TNA Knockouts Rumble. And you can believe that. Kevin Steen cuts a promo backstage, and he says, Charlie Regal, I want to face you at TNA Emergency. So, not bad. CM Punk defeated John Cena for a 66. But here is a major feud that we have going on right now between Christian Cage and Randy Orton. But this angle is more Christian Cage and Edge are backstage and seated on a bench. Christian's taping his wrists. And Edge says, look, I get it. You've got pride. You've got guts. You always have. But I'm telling you, Christian, this isn't the fight that you want to take. Christian says, what are you talking about, Edge? It's Randy. I've fought him before. I've beaten him before. What's the big deal? Edge is shaking his head and his voice drops and he says, no. This isn't the Randy Orton you know. This isn't the Legend Killer, the Viper, or even the Apex Predator. This Randy, he's hell walking on earth. And Christian says, oh, come on, that's a bit dramatic, don't you think? And Edge says, Christian, this guy doesn't just want to win. He wants to end you. He doesn't care if it takes your career, your health, or your pride. He'll smile while doing it. He'll find every weakness you have, every scar, every old injury, and he'll tear you apart piece by piece. Christian says, so what, you think I'm scared? You think I'm gonna back down just because he's in some dark brooding phase? Edge comes closer and says, listen to me. I've been in the ring with him when he's like this. It's like he's not even human. He's cold, calculated. It's like looking into the eyes of a snake that already knows when it's going to strike, and he's enjoying the thought of it. You think you've stepped into a match on Sunday? No, you're walking into your massacre. Christian, you're really laying it on thick, Edge. I know what I'm getting into. I've been through wars. I've faced monsters. Edge, monsters? Christian, Randy isn't a monster. He's worse. Monsters are predictable. They rage. They destroy. Randy, he'll lure you into thinking you have a chance. He'll let you hit your big moves, feel like you've got him, and then BAM! One RKO and you're done. And if you think it ends there, you're dead wrong. He'll keep going. He'll make an example out of you. Christian, and what, I'm supposed to just walk away? Let him get in my head? Let him think he owns me? Edge continues, no, you don't walk away. You wait. You bide your time. You get smart about this. Right now, he's unstoppable, but that doesn't mean he always will be. If you go out there on Sunday, you're giving him exactly what he wants, a target, and I can't stand by and watch him destroy my best friend. Christian says, I hear you, man, I do. But you know me. I'm never backing down from a fight. Especially when someone like Randy thinks he's untouchable. If he's as dangerous as you say, then someone has got to prove. And who better than the head of the corporate? Edge, fine, go out there, be the hero, but don't say I didn't warn you when you're lying on the mat looking up at the lights wondering how the hell you let it happen, because trust me, Christian, Randy's not just coming to win, he's coming to end you, and you're not ready for that. God help you. Christian, thanks for the pep talk, buddy. See you Sunday. And then we see a promo from CM Punk in which he says that he's going to win the Rumble and face Drew Galloway. Bryan Danielson defeated Aaron Stevens with a running knee for a 73. And then Ace Austin says, Marshall Von Erich, emergency, it's going to be me versus you. And there will be no holds barred. Iron Man match. No managers. Just me and you. In which Marshall Von Erich refused and said that he wants a no holds barred match, in which it gets overruled in Marshall's favor. But Seth Rollins cuts a promo and he says, Dolph, Sunday, you're walking out what you are always, a loser. It doesn't matter if you bring the best game that you have. It doesn't matter if you bring the best performance of your career. I will walk out of emergency as TNA X Division champion. And then DIY defeated Mysterio and Pentagon when Johnny Gargano submitted Pentagon with a crossed-in crab for a 71. David Benoit defeated Randy Orton for a 71 by submission after Christian Cage got him with the chair. He's just making Orton more mad. And let's see, the main event is Ace Austin defeating Andrade. Andrade defeated Ace Austin by pinfall with a Brillante driver from Marshall Von Erich. Or a following interference from Marshall Von Erich, 90. The show increased our popularity in 57 regions. We're here at Emergency 2030. Let's see. Bret Hart Jr. will defend his title. Leon Slater will defend his digital media title. International Tag Team Championships will be defended by DIY. You know what? Let's just get into it. Also, tonight is Liv Morgan's last rematch. After tonight, she'll have to earn her next title match. And yeah, Bobby Lashley retired. I forgot. Okay. Oh. Okay. Wonder what would have happened if I paid him $24,229. Let's get into it though. Okay, we start the show off with Seth Rollins doing exactly what he said he was going to do and defeated Dolph Ziggler to walk out with the X Division title. Then interview Kayla Braxton said, "Welcome to TNA Emergency." And then we seen MJF cut a promo and he says, "Tonight, Marshall Von Erich, if you even as much as try and screw Ace Austin out of that in that match, you will pay to not only me, but half of the roster backstage." Then Chad Gable cuts a promo and says that this night is what he dreamed of forever and that tonight is his night to shine. Tonight is his night to win the Rumble. Kevin Steen cut a promo and says that he and Sami Zayn won't be defending the tag team title, or that he isn't with Sami Zayn tonight. But Marshall Von Erich and Ross Von Erich cut promos in which Marshall is calling out Ace. Ace arrives to the arena. We've seen Bret Hart defeat Jon Moxley to make defense number 7 of the TNA Grand Title for a 64. And then DIY versus Mysterio and Pentagon. DIY defeated Mysterio and Pentagon to make defense number 1 of the TNA International Tag Team titles. Jamie Hayter defeated Liv Morgan with a curb stomp for a 77. Sami Zayn versus The Miz got a 60 when The Miz defeated Sami Zayn with the skull crushing finale. We see Zelina Vega win the TNA Knockouts Rumble title for a 74. Not bad at all. Randy Orton defeated Christian Cage with an RKO. And then the men's Rumble winner is Gable, in which the final 2 eliminations he did all by himself, EC3 and CM Punk, but he also took out Adam Page, Griff Garrison, Kate Shockey, Chris Guy, and Kofi Kingston for a 76. Not bad. Drew Galloway defended his title against none other than Roman Reigns. It got an 80. He was really off his game, but it didn't matter. He had a great match. He made defense number 4 of the TNA World title. And the main event gets a 71, in which a bunch of stuff. Oh, man. Whoops. I made a mistake. But it got a 77. The show didn't result in any popularity changes. Okay. Some good stuff has happened. Most notably, Bret Hart Jr. is still champion. But Zelina Vega won the TNA Women's or TNA Knockouts Rumble. And Gable won this year's TNA Rumble. She defended her title she was supposed to defend her title, but due to myself not doing the time frames correct, I had to cut some matches. Even with putting Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler on the off show, and that was a good match. Let's see. Emergency. Right there. 3 airs. We'll give it 4 airs. Especially for Avenue, because that's a show that requires a lot of time due to the Rumbles. So yeah. This is it for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, your family. The most important though is share with your dog.